Hello and welcome to another Doctor's Assistant 1 video. Today I'm doing a review of another Star Wars action figure from the Star Wars Black Series line. It is of course Bo-Katan from the Mandalorian TV show. I'm over the moon about getting this action figure. She's a brilliant character. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen Season 2, but she's in Season 2. And she's an awesome character, and one that I'll be honest, a little bit worried that I wouldn't be able to find / get because of just the sheer sort of popularity of the character. You know, if you know your Star Wars, then you really like her character, ideally, and that, or if you like your sort of Mandalorian characters / sort of characters from Clone Wars and stuff, and that, then yeah, she's sort of a must-have for a lot of fans. First of all, I'll go through the accessories she comes with. She comes with two blaster pistols, which are just sort of these basic sort of light grey or light silver painted sort of blasters with sort of brown on the hilt on the bottom there, and then just a little gap for her fingers to hold them, and that. Nothing too extravagant compared to, say, Mando's pistol or all. It's nothing as detailed as that, but then again, her blaster pistols were minimally designed in Clone Wars, and then when they obviously translated her into live action, they were quite minimal there as well. You've got the helmet as well, which is of this sort of more, a little bit rubbery, well, not super rubbery, but like rubbery sort of plastic a bit, and then the visor sort of bit does come down as well, which is really cool. They've even gone to the lengths of adding like a bit of silver on the inside there, which you probably won't be able to see, but black, and then there's silver there as well on the other side, as well as on the sort of rest of it. It's absolutely phenomenally detailed as well, I might add. Like, just the sheer detailing of like the white, the blue, the sort of darker blue, the lighter blue, the black visor, the sort of white and grey sort of thing. It's just really well designed, really nice. And likewise with Mando's helmet, it's also got that sort of grooving sort of grooved like texture on the back as well of the helmet. Unlike, say, Mando in his Beskar armor, she does also come with a jetpack, as does Mando in his Beskar armor, but the difference being here that this one is actually kind of painted with a bit of more sort of detail, a bit more detailing, as well as paint applications, other than it just being silver and that. It's got obviously the light blues, as well as what I can only describe as like maybe a bit of a missile on the top there, as well as having a peg to then obviously be able to fit into the back of her person and that. Starting off firstly with the detailing of the figure, the absolute stunning sort of likeness to Katie Sackhoff is incredible, using this sort of photorealistic technology that at Hasbro, it's uncanny. And so far out of the Black Series, specifically from Mandalorian, this is the only figure that I've got that obviously has an actual head slash face sculpt sort of thing. I think my only criticism with the head would be that the orange hair is a bit too brightly orange. It could have done with maybe sort of light orange with like a darker wash over it, maybe, to make it more like it is in the actual show. I love the hairband as well. Another little tweak to the head, which would have gone a long way for me, would have been maybe adding some little sort of splodges of like lights at the end of the band, maybe, because that's what it's like in the show. But other than that, it is really up there. Like, it just looks like Katie Sackhoff. It's uncanny. As for the rest of the armor, it's very nice. It's got that sort of Mandalorian like armor sort of insignia in the chest piece between her breasts, and that this sort of embedded sort of insignia sort of thing that all the Mandalorians have. Although what is very fascinating to me is that the sheer difference between her sort of one and Mando's. Maybe there is some sort of significance there, I'm not sure. Also, Mando as a figure is slightly taller than her, but I'm pretty sure that's screen accurate, to be fair, as she is quite a shorter character in the show as well. Yet she still has quite a lot of on-screen presence. Moving down to sort of slightly above the crotch, or below the chest and above the crotch, the belt is really cool as well, because it's all like, all the pouches are all the way across as well, and it's really nicely designed. And you've got the buckles and the belt straps and the silver painting, and then the brown, and the detailing as though you could actually see her put ammunition in there, or on a sort of waist pouch bag thing. And then you've got emblems on the shoulder pads as well on either side, which is just really cool, as well as like the whistling bird, like how Mando has one. She also has one, and that. What's cool about the sort of belt as well is that then it has these holsters, but also they're not glued down. They're not glued down, but they are still quite sturdy, so you can actually move the legs out to the sides, or out to the sides and back a bit, and it still holds well. In terms of articulation, she has very much the same articulation as any other Black Series figure. Arms can go out and to the side and swivel, and full 360 hands. The elbows, torso can kind of pivot back and forwards as well as side to side. Head can go up, down, and full 360 around, as well as there's a ball joint for tilt, so you could have her head tilted down and to the side as well, if you wanted to do that. She is technically an arse kicker, because you can get, or almost an arse kicker. You can almost get her to kick her backside, but she doesn't quite. The sort of knee pads are also kind of this foam sort of plastic, so you can have her kind of like in a running pose almost, and that. And one thing to take into consideration about the helmet is that it's probably best to not keep always taking it off and on all the time too much, because potentially you could, whilst taking it off, if you are very sort of not careful with it, rub off some of the sort of detailing off the face, maybe potentially. As I say, that bit does come down, and it's really cool that it does do that. I think the only major criticism that I have of the figure is that, as I say, those two little tweaks, the hair could have been a little bit better in terms of the sort of detailing, in terms of like the detailing, in terms of the action figure's hair, the sort of the colour could have been a little bit better. The blasters do actually go into the holsters very snugly as well, and here she is with both blasters in hand, fighting Mando, I guess. And the jetpack does sit in actually pretty snug as well. I guess the only criticisms I mainly have would be like, as I say, the head could, the hair could have been a little bit better with like a darker wash over the sort of bright orange hair. And then also maybe adding those two little like lights on either side of the hairband, like red and yellow lights maybe, as well as that maybe having like a not a kickstand, but like a stand, like a see-through sort of stand, so you could, much like Sith Lord 229 said on his review, I think having like a sort of stand included with this figure would have been really nice, so like you could display her with the jetpack as though she's like actually in flight, sort of going over like people and using the blaster pistols to shoot at them, maybe, sort of thing. And that maybe, but yeah, I do like this figure quite a lot. She's definitely up there with some of the other Black Series figures I've bought so far in the collection, as well as some of the other really high-end character options, Doctor Who figures I've got, and Marvel Select, and whatever else I've got in the collection at this point. But yeah, so I think if you're a massive fan of the Mandalorian TV show, I think Bo-Katan is definitely a must-have. Obviously, she is a badass female character, and really cool figure as well. I like the fact that they've done a bit of weathering as well on the figure. You know, adding sort of mud like textures and a bit of like damage to the chest armor as well. So she doesn't look as pristine as say Beskar armor Mando, but she's not. It's like if Beskar armor Mando's here, she's sort of there, and then there, and then I'd put like the non-Beskar version of Mando on the other side in terms of like the armor and how pristine / shiny it is, you know, on the figures at least, you know. So I do like that about the about the Bo-Katan figure, because I'll be honest, as a figure, I think the shininess isn't as cool a look for Mando personally as a figure, but then the obviously non like shiny version of Mando is pretty cool because it's just battered and weathered and a bit more cool. But then you've got, as I say, this sort of nice intermediary sort of midpoint with Bo-Katan, where, you know, you've got cuts and scuffs within the helmet, as well as the armor, as well as the sort of side sort of wrists, sort of arm sort of plates, as well as on the feet as well. And the sort of the colour scheme matches what she looks like in the show. The helmet looks phenomenal. The articulation is what you'd expect from your standard 6-inch Black Series figure. So yeah, I'd give this figure a well-earned like 9, 10 out of 10, maybe even. Yeah, I'm going to give her a 10 out of 10. The issues, quotation marks, issues that I have with this figure are very minute, sort of nitpicky complaints. But other than that, like, other than the flight stand, the hair, and maybe being a bit darker, the flight stand, and the sort of inclusion of some like lights on the hairband, it's a phenomenal figure. And yeah, if you can pick this one up, do it. You know, if you can find it anywhere online, or even in a sort of actual physical retail store, that'd be great for anyone looking for this figure. So yeah, thanks for watching. Please do comment, rate, and subscribe.